Scott is Guard 2 here. It's September 6th, 2012. Well, technically it's the 7th, but the 6th is when everything happened. And I'm sorry I'm late with all that. I'm going to do the updates now, and then when you see the HOH logo, then you know it's a spill, and to stop watching if you don't want to know the spill. If you do want to know the spill, then keep on watching. Um, Basically, a double eviction happened. Sadly, Frank went home, and I can't believe he's gullible enough to believe Dan of all peoples. But he did, and there's nothing we can do about it. I don't think anybody else in that house deserves the money besides maybe Dan, because Dan worked his butt off to get himself off the block, and then he's worked to get HOH and veto and stuff after that, more than he did the first time around. But I don't think he deserves the money because he's already won once. But I also don't think that anybody else in the house worked as hard. Shane at the beginning worked hard because he got veto and stuff, but and HOH, but after a while it just went downhill, and he didn't really have to work that hard to get off the block much. Same with Danielle, but Danielle had to deal with Dan making her cry a lot, not telling her what's going on. And Jen, she's just been hanging on everyone, and she's probably going this next week anyways. And so my pick to win this whole game is Danielle. So yeah, that's my opinion. Danielle. And then after all that, they did the double eviction, which HOH was between Dan, Danielle, and Jen. Jen said on After Dark, which you will probably see soon, both of them soon. The 5th and the 6th, I think. Or maybe just the 6th, I'm not sure. Have to look and see what. I'm trying to keep up, guys, I'm trying. But they got to pick some question minute thing, and Jen's like, yeah, I can remember what people say because, I'm a songwriter, and songwriters have to remember lyrics and stuff. Yeah, but to do that, they go over and over and over again. They only even heard the speech once. So I don't know. But Dan won that one. Shocker. He's actually winning stuff. I can't believe it. And he puts up Ian and Joe on the block. And I'm thinking, why Ian? Why would he put Ian on the block? Which you would find out Sunday, of course. But if you're watching After Dark, you already know the answer. Because he wanted him to go home. But that isn't the case. What happened was Ian won veto in the shark thing, which they did the whole Jaws thing. Dun 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 dun. So pathetic. But it was a close call between Joe, Ian, and Dan, and it's like, don't let Ian have it. I want him to go home. Even though I know they all would vote to save Ian and Joe would go next. I'm thinking, since Joe got voted out, hey, you have food in the house now. But you lost your cook. But the people in the jury house would get the fancy cooking food now. But I don't know. I just don't know. Then, after that, the show was over, of course. And of course, later on, they did HOH and stuff like that. And so, when you watch After Dark, everyone's like, oh my god, when is Dan getting his basket and stuff? Because he gets his basket with his pictures, which they used to do back in the old Big Brother days. They did, they just did the basket, no pictures. But I guess they decided, well, they deserve the pictures too. But, anyways, let's get on to HOH. Hold on. You pick one of my HOHs. We'll do that one. So, if you don't want to know who got HOH, and you want to know Sunday, you can stop watching this video now, turn it off. Just don't read the comments, because the comments will be talking about it, and they will be allowed to. If you want to know, keep on watching. Who got HOH? Ian, of course. And when I found that out, I was pissed once again. Because Ian doesn't deserve HOH. Because Dan said that to, I think, Danielle on After Dark, he's like, if Ian didn't get HOH, him and Jen would have been the ones on the block. And he'd be the one going home. Okay. But now that Ian's got HOH, Dan's like, well, Jen's gonna go up regardless, and Jen's going home this week. And Danielle was talking to Jen, which we'll get to see all this on my After Dark thing, I think. I'm not sure if I recorded that part. Where Danielle's like, if Shane is on the block, he's got to win veto, because I don't want him going home. Thing is, it would be between Dan and Danielle. Dan would probably vote Jen out just to be an ass, and Danielle would probably vote no. Dan would probably vote Shane out to be an ass, because he knows that if Shane wins, Dan's not going to the end with him, but if Danielle wins, he's definitely going to the end with Danielle. So he'll probably vote Shane out, Danielle will probably vote Jen out, and then Ian will be the deciding vote, and he'll probably say Shane as well, because then it breaks up the two pair, the show and the man, you know? So, you got a win-win situation there. That's my opinion of what's gonna happen, so let's hear yours. And yes, Ian got HOH. It sucks, but what can you do? What can you do? And if Shane does get off the block, then he's gonna have to put Dan or Danielle up on the block. And he'll probably put Danielle, because Ian thinks he has a fight or two with Dan. So it doesn't really matter, because Dan would just be like, Jen, bye-bye. And then Shane would be like, Jen, bye-bye. So no matter who Ian decides to put up, if he put up Shane and Shane got veto, you know. Or if it's the other way around. Now, if Shane gets veto and is not on the block and Danielle's on the block with Jen, then, yeah, Dan would have to go up. Thing is, don't worry, Dan probably won't be going home. Shane might vote Dan out knowing Dan's not going to take me to the end. He's going to take Danielle. So, you know, it's a win-win situation. What do you think? Comment down below.